Oi, Davy, I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. This week, live from Glasgow, Scotland, there was WWE Clash at the Castle. I'm not good at Scottish accents, so let's just get into it. The opening match was for the WWE Undisputed Championship. An I Quit match between AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. As we know, Cody Rhodes wanting an I Quit match because AJ Styles came out, did the Mark Henry thing, where he pretended that he was about to retire just so he could attack Cody Rhodes. Only difference is, unlike the Mark Henry thing, we all saw it coming. However, this match in and of itself was freaking awesome. It was an I Quit match, which meant it was brutal. It was all over the place, all over the arena. So many cringe moments, like when AJ Styles did a brainbuster onto the table that didn't break. And I don't know about you guys, but when the table doesn't break, that makes me cringe a little bit more than when it does. And it ended when Cody Rhodes was able to handcuff AJ Styles, with handcuffs that AJ Styles brought out, to the ring rope, and then grabbed the steel steps and was about to come and bash AJ Styles' brains in when AJ Styles said, okay, I quit. And then Cody Rhodes hit him anyway. But either way, AJ Styles said I quit, Cody Rhodes wins, and he retains his WWE Undisputed Championship. It was a great way to start the night, although I will say, kind of sad because the first match was match of the night, as this one got a 5 out of 5. After the match, though, Solo Sikoa came out with the Bloodline beating on Cody Rhodes, and it led to RKO coming out to help Cody Rhodes and fight off the Bloodline. And, well, we know this is setting up for SummerSlam, but is it setting up for Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa or Randy Orton? Honestly, I'm okay with either one of those. Then a triple threat tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. The teams of the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, versus the champions Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Honestly, this match was really good. And I don't say that very often about the Women's Tag Team Championship matches, but it was really good. Very chaotic. I also thought it was kind of interesting how, through most of the match, they were able to neutralize Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. However, one of the notable moments was when Jade Cargill finally got back in the match, went for a springboard, and botched. However, it later came out that the ropes were way too loose, because there were several botches throughout the night. But then after Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill took out Baszler, were about to make the pin, Isla Dawn comes in and takes out Cargill so she can steal the pin, get the win, and her and Alba Fire, the Unholy Union, are now the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I'm very happy about that. Very. Number one, I didn't like this team of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I don't like how they're over-pushing Jade Cargill. I also have wanted the Unholy Union to be the Women's Tag Team Champions because what I've constantly said the Women's Tag Team division is missing is actual tag teams. Not a bunch of makeshift tag teams of, hey, you and I are doing nothing, let's go get the tag team titles, but an actual team that's actual goal is just the tag team titles. It's what they need more of. And I hope this will lead to that. I'm not going to say I'm optimistic, but I'm hoping. This match, honestly, I would give this one a 4 out of 5. Then for the Intercontinental Championship, Chad Gable challenges Sami Zayn. And it was being said that this is going to be Chad Gable's last chance. It was good. Towards the end of the match, Chad Gable had gotten the Intercontinental Championship and given it to Maxine. And while he was distracting the ref, he was signaling to Maxine that he wanted her to hit Sami Zayn with the championship. But she wouldn't do it. She's too nice. Sure. But this led to chaos, because while there was arguing going on outside, Sami Zayn goes to do a dive onto Chad Gable, accidentally hits Otis. Chad Gable's got Sami Zayn in an ankle lock. Sami Zayn gets out of it. Chad Gable accidentally hits Maxine in her broken foot. And this leads to Otis, instead of helping Chad Gable or returning on Chad Gable, just picking up Maxine and carrying her out. And that distracted Chad Gable enough for Sami Zayn to get the haluva kick, get the pin, and retain his Intercontinental Championship. Apparently a lot of fans were upset about this. I wouldn't say it was the way I would have gone. I probably would have given the title to Chad Gable because, I think that's just where this rivalry needs to end, but it's not how they went, and I'm not terribly angry about it. I guess I don't agree. Either way, though, I would give this match a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then for the WWE Women's Championship, Piper Niven challenging Bayley. It was good. A little ridiculous when Chelsea Green got banned from ringside and then came back wearing the exact same thing, just a mask, as if that was going to fool anybody. It didn't. But it almost got Piper Niven the win. But Bayley was able to kick out. And then Piper Niven was about to set up her finisher again, and Bayley was able to get the crucifix, get the pin, retain her WWE Women's Championship. Which, again, a lot of fans have been upset about. I'm okay with it. Wouldn't say this match was great, but it was pretty good. I would give the match another 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then, for the World Championship title, Drew McIntyre challenging Damian Priest. With the stipulation that since on Raw, Drew McIntyre beat Finn Balor, Judgment Day is banned from ringside. This one is another one people are complaining about. I thought it was really good. Plenty of back and forth, plenty of drama in there. Yes, there was a botch. Damian Priest went for a springboard and got caught in the ropes. But again, this all came out later that they had loosened the ropes too much. So they really should have just told the wrestlers, like, hey, no springboards tonight. Or just, in between, tighten the ropes. I don't know. I don't know how ring making goes, but whatever. But despite that, the match was still really good. And it ended after the third attempt of Drew McIntyre attempting to get the Claymore onto Damian Priest, and easily would have gotten the pin, except the referee had gotten knocked out. So another ref came out and only counted to 2. Because that referee was CM Punk, who apparently came all the way to Scotland just to screw over Drew McIntyre. Of course, Drew McIntyre got angry, and CM Punk used that opportunity to kick Drew McIntyre in the
Captain Winky,
which allowed Damian Priest to not only recover, but get the South of Heaven, the pin, the win, and he retained the World Championship, which, again, apparently a lot of people were angry about, and I will get into in just a moment. But in my opinion, this was a good match. This was the way to go. I would give this a 4 out of 5. Yeah! So, Clash at the Castle, Scotland overall, I thought was really good. I don't know what everybody's complaining about. The complaints I'm hearing about is people were complaining about the botches. Okay, sometimes things happen, like a rope getting loosened. But I felt they recovered from their botches pretty well. Not to mention, there were 3 matches where Scottish people were involved. Of course, Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn, they won their match. Piper Niven did not, neither did Drew McIntyre. And apparently people were angry about that. Let's get into Piper Niven real quick. I honestly think it was just something for her to be very grateful for that she was in that match. Because nothing against Piper Niven. I like Piper Niven. I've followed her since NXT UK. I was extremely happy when they stopped calling her Dewdrop. But all she has done of note is be Chelsea Green's tag team partner. Chelsea Green, who they're not taking seriously, is basically a joke in WWE. And Piper Niven's her enforcer. That's all she's been doing. And out of nowhere, she gets a championship match in Scotland, her home country. Why is that not a big deal? I'm sorry, but her winning the title right now, in my opinion, would not have made sense. Especially because they're setting up Bayley versus Nia Jax at SummerSlam. Piper Niven versus Nia Jax wouldn't make sense because that's heel versus heel. It just wouldn't work. I mean, granted, it would be interesting because I've already seen Bayley versus Nia Jax, but then again, doesn't matter who faces Nia Jax, it's not going to be that interesting. I'm sorry, but it was an achievement for her to get to be in that match, let alone in her home country. So how about just be grateful for that instead of mad because she didn't get to win in front of her home crowd? So what? Think she's never lost in Scotland before? Then Drew McIntyre. Same deal. Everybody like, oh, you're going to have him go to Scotland and not win the title? That would not have made sense right now with his current rivalry. They are setting up for CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. Not Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Not to mention we've already seen Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. I'm more interested in seeing Damian Priest versus Gunther. Especially because, again, we got to think about this. Yes, they still do faces versus heels. Whereas Priest is not a babyface. He's leaning that way. They are obviously turning him. And whether or not he stays that way, he's going to be the face during that match. Versus Gunther is the obvious heel. So, I'm sorry, but that wouldn't have made sense to have him win the title just to either lose it in a couple of days or go to SummerSlam and face Gunther instead of the rivalry that's been built up since Royal Rumble between him and CM Punk. Everybody going, oh, they screwed him, they screwed him. Okay, of course. He got to go be in the main event in his home country of Scotland. And yes, whereas he lost, it wasn't like Priest got a clean win. It was a screw job. It worked. Honestly, I'm sorry, but that's the way I would go. There's also people complaining about Chad Gable not winning the Intercontinental Championship. I agree. That's not the way I would have gone. I would have had him win the championship. But for whatever reason, they decided not to. Even though they said this is his last chance at the Intercontinental title, somehow I doubt it. So get over it. It'll happen when it happens. Especially because they still got to do the split up between Alpha Academy and Chad Gable. But either way, whereas I didn't quite love every result of every match, we'll say the Tag Team Championship match, I was happy. Very happy. Not just because I'm a big fan of Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, but I want more actual women tag teams. I keep talking about this. All they seem to have are makeshift tag teams of, I'm not doing anything, you're not doing anything, let's team up and go after the tag team titles. That hurts the prestige of the tag team titles. But rather a team forming and saying, our goal is simply to win the tag team championships. That helps. That elevates it. Just like the men's tag team championships. It's a step in the right direction. If they're ever going to take the women's tag team championship seriously, it needs to be on a real tag team. A real tag team that we can believe is dominant, like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. A tag team that is not only dominant, but obviously would have no issue cheating. Honestly, in my opinion, the only big mistake they made was that the Undisputed Championship match was the opener. Because that was the best match of the night, and you kind of peaked too soon. However, I still thought Clash of the Castle was really good. I really don't get what everybody is so angry about. I really, really don't. I loved it. I wouldn't say I loved it so much to give it a 5, but I would easily give this one a 4 out of 5. Yeah! So there you have it, you bastards. That is my review of WWE Clash of the Castle in Scotland. Hope everyone enjoyed this review, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment I can answer into my comment quota. Tell me what you thought of Clash of the Castle. Tell me why you're so angry about it, and I'll give you something to be angry about. Love you guys.